Sentience, how we doing today? It's the first of the month and December at that. So you know what that means. It's time to close out the month strong and start up the next one with the same intensity. But I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying limitless. I just came out here so I can water all my plants, which I'm about to show you here. But yeah, man, I'm out here watering all my plants. And I ended up killing my seedling over here. Let me see if I can get this thing a little clear. See that? So it had the seed shelling on the outside of it. And I came out and I noticed it. And I basically decided to try to pull the shell off of it, so I can see what it was. And, you know, let it get some beautiful sun out today, since I have all the plants outside and I just watered them. And this brings us to the video and the symbolism of it. The seed is your plan, is your dreams, and how exposing them too soon, how detrimental it can be. It's like telling the world what you're going to do instead of letting your movement and your actions speak for it. Like, it's crazy how just speaking your plan, whatever it is that you're going to do, your dream, whatever it is that you're trying to fulfill, succeed in, it's crazy how if you keep blabbering it out too much, it's crazy how it really kills the momentum of it. And how it's the quickest way to actually put a burden or to stop this. I wrote all these joints down on an index card so I don't leave anyone out, because I had to sit and think about this for a second, because the symbolism is unreal. So with that first point, it's a great indicator to me. You know, I maybe be in the habit of telling the wrong people, you know, or just, you know, speaking a little bit too much of how I'm gonna move, how I'm gonna do this and that. And in the end, how a lot of times none of it happens. And this is why. Because you just gotta keep that to yourself. Let your movement, let your actions over time speak for it. And by then you'll already have the armor, the momentum to keep it moving. No one's gonna knock you off then. You know, just like a seed. At this stage that it was in, it's very delicate, it's very precious. And I decided to expose it too soon when it wasn't ready. I should have just let it do its thing. And now it totally destroyed it. But take like a plant, like a tree, something like this, part of it off, it's not going to do anything to that tree. That tree's already sustained its roots. It's already shooting for the sky. The next one is how forcing never leads to breakthroughs, but breakdowns. Isn't it amazing how whenever we try to force something, how it never leads to breakthroughs? It just breaks down. It breaks us down. I forced this seed. I forced it because I wanted to take the shell off instead of letting it do its own thing. And look what happened. Nothing broke through. It just broke down. That's it for it now. You know, it's the same thing. Think of it this way. If you're working out and you just try to force more and more repetitions in, you try to stay longer, and how that ends up, maybe you might get an injury. you know, and that offsets you because now you're months of not doing anything just because you forced something that day. And I'm all for pushing the limit, but within its retrospect, within its reason, you know. This is where you got to use your discernment at. The next bullet point is how you can't force someone's growth rate, but you can definitely be there to encourage it. Let's take the example with my seed over here, my plant. I try to force its growth rate. I try to expose it too soon. And again, it caused conflict. It ended up killing it completely, destroying it. I should have just been there like I was the whole time while it was in the ground to where it started coming up, of just embracing it and encouraging it and just being there along the way that, hey man, whenever you're ready, I'm going to be right there to pick you up. You know, let's get this. Let's do this. The next bullet point, the fourth one, is staying consistent on your plan. Try not to make too many drastic moves. Staying consistent on your plan. Consistency is one of the biggest successors. That's it. That's the key. Staying consistent with anything will get you results. This is just guaranteed. This is factual. Law of attraction, law of coherence. It's all around. Let's put this in let's say like a world, another example. By just staying consistent on the path. Let's say the seed. Like I just said, I should have just stayed with it and embraced it. Just been there for it, let it unravel itself. Instead of me doing something drastic by just ripping off the shell. This can also be, you know, even though I learned this way, but it's like maybe taking a kid and throwing him into the water, you know, to try to force him to learn how to swim. Granted, I learned how to swim that way, but maybe not everyone will, you know, and how that drastic move could maybe cause paranoia and fear in the kid now, you know, because of that moment. He never wants to get in the water again, while some will rise through it like I did. I'm sure many of you have as well. It can also have the adverse thing. That thing could be such a scar to them, such a scare that they never ever want to get in the water. You know, so just staying consistent and not making any drastic plans, embracing things where they're at, and just being there to encourage them. The fifth one, enjoying your journey while someone else is enjoying their journey. Not intervening unless it's an absolute dire need. I should have just enjoyed its journey at its stage that it was at while I enjoyed mine. There was no need for me to intervene and rip the shell off of him. I should have just let him be. And I would have just, you know, me, blah, 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 blah. I'm embracing myself and they're embracing themselves, or it's doing its thing. You know, there's no need for me to step in, for me to bother. I'm doing my thing. I'm vibrating. My aura, it's doing its thing too. The last thing, rushing things and not going with the flow. The rushing is kind of like the forcing. You know, when you just try to, sometimes just pushing things to the limit, whether it's mechanical, whether it's your body, whether it's your mind, that leads to overexhaustion. Things break down, they don't break through. You have to take the rest that you need to for your mind and your body, for example. You have to make sure you're nurturing your body and mind with proper sustenance. You know, not just stuffing fillers like vitamins and stuff. You know, actually eating foods that give you those vitamins that you're taking supplements for. You know, really going outside into nature, taking walks, exercising, you know. Try not to rush the process. Be hard on yourself so that you see results. You know, you have to measure. If you're not measuring, you'll never get any results. You got to measure. You know, see where you're at. See where you're trying to go. Stay consistent on that path. You know, push yourself when you can, but within its means. Don't push yourself so that you take yourself out for the next couple of weeks or the month. You know, it's not worth it, because what happens then? There's no consistency, and that is the name of the game. So yeah, y'all, I'm over here wondering, it's been a minute since I posted a video and stuff, and I was just saying yesterday, which is crazy, like, man, I need to post another video. Look at the galataki over there. I need to post another video. What should I post about and everything? And honestly, I haven't had anything really that came to my mind that I've been, you know, just really feeling that I want to express. And if it's not coming natural, I don't want to put it out there. And here we are today when I'm watering the plants over here, and I decided to rip off that shell. Well, looks like I'm about to rip off the shell. You know, this was a symbolic lesson, you know, hopefully for you guys out there, and obviously for myself. You know, time to stick to the actions. Don't overtalk. Don't tell too many people, you know, because people will either pray for you or they'll prey on you. Crazy, right? P-R-A-Y and P-R-E-Y. I might have to make another video on that one. That's crazy. But yeah, guys, stay limitless. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Stay super sentients. Adios, baby. What's up, Galatag? What's going on over there? Look at the little cowgirl over there. What's up, Galatag?